finally back for another match preview. So happy. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back for another match preview. It feels like forever since I have put out a video. Honestly, the international break came at a really good time. I was feeling a little bit burnt out. I didn't really want to do too many videos. There wasn't too much going on. And I'm also back home in New York for a couple of weeks. So it's just been nice to chill and hang out with my family. Hence the different background as well. But let's get right into this video. So Chelsea play West Brom at home in the Premier League. West Brom currently sit in 19th place. They're in a relegation battle and they have the most goals conceded in the league with 57. So you would think that this should be a relatively straightforward and easy win for Chelsea. And honestly, I hope that it is. I really do. But these Chelsea players are all returning from international duty. They've played a lot of minutes, a lot of games. There's only been, I think, 4 players that stayed behind, and it's a really early kickoff given that. So Thomas Tuchel spoke in his press conference that the players took like 3 to 4 flights to arrive in London in the middle of the night, and they have 1 day to prepare for this match. So really not a lot of time at all. Then you also have the fact that in the reverse fixture, this was the absolutely weird fixture for Chelsea where they went 3-0 down at halftime and came back to draw 3-3. So it's not looking amazing for Chelsea, but I do think that we should be able to squeak out our results and get a win. I don't think that West Brom are really going to trouble us all of that much, but it's going to be one of those frustrating games, I think, where we don't really know where the goal is going to come from. But I really hope that I'm wrong and we just go on a scoring spree, because that would be really nice. It's been a while, I feel like, since Chelsea have scored like a lot of goals in a game. Looking at the players that are available, it's a massive plus for Chelsea. Thiago Silva is back in training. It will be up to Thomas Tuchel if he decides to play him in this West Brom game. Could be a really good game to ease him into, or if he just plays him directly in the Porto game, opting to rest him. Who really knows, right? And looking at players that are out, Tammy Abraham still isn't close to match fitness, whereas N'Golo Kante picked up a minor injury away on international duty. Thomas Tuchel has said he's not going to be fit for this game or for the first leg of the Porto game, but that he should be looking to get back to match fitness after that first leg. Looking at my starting 11, I had a bit of a difficult time deciding it just because I also have 2 eyes on that Porto game at midweek. So we know that these players really aren't going to have much time to prepare for this game since they were away on international duty. Now they're coming back. They have this game, and top 4 is still a probably the biggest priority for Chelsea in order to guarantee Champions League football next season. So it really is a must-win game for Chelsea, especially against a side that's fighting relegation. But I also know that Tuchel's going to be thinking about the players that he picks with that Porto game in mind. So you really have to go with 2 starting 11s to see who can only play 1 game, who do you prefer in each game, and do a tactical analysis on the opposition to see who's best fitted to start. That being said, taking a look at my starting 11, Mendy in goal, and then I opted for a back 5 of Callum, Azpilicueta, Christensen, Rudiger, and Alonso. So let's break down this back 5 a little bit. I opted for Callum because I do think that West Brom aren't necessarily going to attack us that much, and I do think that Reece is good to have on the pitch when we want a bit more of a defensive presence. But since I do think that we're going to have the majority of the ball and try to break down this side, I think that Callum's directness could be extremely important in this match. And then looking at that back 3, the center back 3 pairing, I think that Azpilicueta is going to be a nailed-on starter. He didn't go away on international duty, and he has just been one of the main men in Thomas Tuchel's system. Now I opted for Christensen. You could perfectly put Thiago Silva in there as well. I just think that, maybe we're going to see Thiago Silva in the Porto game. Who knows, maybe I don't think he's going to play in both games. So if I had to pick a game for Thiago Silva to play in, it would probably be Porto. But honestly, it could go either way. I think that Rudiger is also more or less a nailed-on starter. Perhaps we could see Zuma for an aerial presence. Like, really, Thomas Tuchel just has left us with so many questions regarding the starting 11, because nobody is really safe. Anybody can get rotated or rested, so it's a really interesting one. And then I did opt for Alonso because Chilwell's coming back from international duty. He played a lot. Don't think that Alonso did, so I think that Alonso will be more or less rested, and we know that he has like a really good left foot and he could provide an attacking presence. Looking at that midfield pivot, it gets interesting here. This is my thinking or my rationale. Conte is out injured and you want to have two players in that pivot for the Porto game. So I think in the Porto game, we're probably going to see Kovacic and Jorginho. So I think that one of them is going to get rested versus West Brom. And Tuchel has said that Kovacic has a ton of energy, that you could train with him at like 1 a.m. or 3 a.m., that he's always ready to go. He always gives 110%. So I decided to go for a pivot of Kovacic and Gilmour, because I do think that Gilmour deserves more game time. It could be a really good game for him. It's not going to be a game where he has to do too much defensive work. Chelsea are going to be in control of the ball, so he should be able to kind of dictate the play, and I do think that he's really good at it. I think it would be a good game to get him involved while N'Golo Kante is out. You rest Jorginho, and this way Jorginho can be fit and ready to play against Porto. And then finally, looking at that front three, Thomas Tuchel has already confirmed that Timo Werner is going to be starting tomorrow. Timo Werner did have a miss against Macedonia in international duty. It seems to be all that anybody can talk about, but Thomas Tuchel quickly puts those rumors, so to speak, to rest, that he still believes in Timo Werner, that he's massive for Chelsea, and that if you look at his statistics, they really haven't been all that bad. He's still scoring goals, he's getting assists, he's winning penalties, and I do think that Timo Werner is incredibly important to this Chelsea side, even though he isn't scoring goals. And we know that he can score goals. He's not very high on confidence right now, but like Thomas Tuchel said, he's been scoring goals since he's 6 years old. He has the mentality, his body knows what to do. It's almost like muscle memory, and it's going to come back to him. And this would be a really good game for him to score a goal. I think that it could be a game that we see a Timo goal, but he just needs to work on his confidence a little bit. Just takes one goal and then hopefully he can start building off of that. And then looking at the other two players, the other two attackers, I decided to go for Havertz and Pulisic. I think that Ziyech might start the Champions League game against Porto, not only for his experience, but I do think it's going to be a bit more of an open game than this West Brom game. I think that he needs a little bit more time in order to create and really like have a vision on the ball, and I think that he's going to have that more against Porto, and he might not be as effective against a West Brom. So I do hope that we see Pulisic and Havertz. I think that Pulisic, he did well on international duty, he scored a penalty, and he looked pretty sharp. So I do think that this could be a really good game for him, because he's again a very direct player, and that's the type of player that I want to see playing against a West Brom, to try to create space, to draw defenders towards him in order to create space elsewhere on the pitch as well. So I do think that Pulisic could be a really good player to start in this game. And then looking at Kai Havertz, I think that he's just really creative. He gets into really special areas in the final third on the pitch, and I think that's something that we've been lacking a little bit this season. So I do think that he can bring something different to the team. He's very fast as well. We've seen that he actually is stronger than he appears to be, and he's pretty good in the air. So I do hope that we see those front three. I think that they're all very direct players, and that they could cause some damage to that West Brom defense, and Chelsea really should be getting this win. So I realized that I didn't include Mason Mount in my starting 11. He's been playing a lot of football for England. He's been one of their best players, but I do think it could make sense, given that he hasn't had that much time to rest, to give him a rest in this West Brom game. I do think that we can get the job done. If we really need him to come on, he can come on at 60 or 70 minutes to try to make a difference, but I really don't think it's going to be that necessary. And then you save Mason Mount for that Porto game, because I do think that he's going to be starting in that Champions League game. My score prediction is 2-0 to Chelsea, and I think that we're going to get the win. I think it might be a bit of a frustrating game for Chelsea fans. Probably not going to be the most exciting game of football ever, but honestly it just feels really nice to be back doing match preview videos and looking forward to Chelsea games. So if you like this video, please don't forget to drop it a like. Honestly, it helps me out so much. Subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to follow me on my socials like Twitter and Instagram. You'll find a lot of Chelsea content there as well. So let me know what your thoughts about the game are, who's in your starting 11, and what your score predictions are. I want to know, so comment them down below, and until next time, I'm out.